first one. So this page, okay, you're supposed to have drawn this cell. Yeah, only this. Okay, please place it on your table. I'll draw 3 up. Okay, those who didn't draw, automatically next Monday you can give me 3 drawings. Huh? So who didn't draw this cooling break? Okay, you know who you are. Okay, I'm just going to go around and have a look at your drawings. I see anything very disastrous, I'll get you to do 3 times or so. Surprisingly, yes. Okay, those who didn't bring their biological drawings, you take a piece of A4 paper, segment it into 3 sections, draw 3 times. What said you okay means never do. Okay, and I'm walking around. For those that brought and you did it well enough, you need to withdraw. I'm going to turn down your names. My sentence. Okay. So who never do? Only biological drawings. Okay. You owe me 3. That's yours. Maybe somewhere, okay, you will find it. Which one is it? Go find a practical worksheet. Oh, it's this. Okay, but this fail, okay, do 3 times also. Alistair, your drawing can be better. Okay, Alistair. Yes. Can? Okay, okay. Okay, narrow, so narrow only 3. I tell you, these 3 is going to grow more and more. Never do the 3 by Monday, get 3 each one, 3 more. Okay, then what's that become 9? Okay, then you never do the 9, each one of the 9 becomes 3 more. Huh? Proportions are this one is so long, it's so short. It's not so big, this one is so small. Okay, forward, forward. Yes, right there. Okay, nothing also. Huh? Sure, if you want to give me drawings by today. I say also, okay, I wait. Because metal is malleable, properties of metal. Okay, last week I said you don't never do punishment 5 times. Sorry, I reduced a bit more, 3 times. Because if not 5 times, then second time you never do each of the 5, become 5 more, right? It goes crazy and crazy. Christian have? Yes. Tara? Okay, Tara also 3, Go. Teresa, do you find yours? Okay. Okay, so I have quite a few. I have lots of cells I'm going to collect. Okay. Selina, okay, I have lots of cells I'm going to collect. Okay, to make it simple, next Monday is file collection day anyway. Oh, you got erased, Remember, a month ago, I already told you about the file collection on the 7th August. So to keep it simple, you file your worksheet, you file your 3 cells inside the science file when I collect it. Yes?
What if I don't check this last year?
Just get a photocopy from your pen and check this. Yeah? Okay? I say again, your science file contributes to your PPSR score, participation, submission, so on and so forth. Okay? If you submit 100%, then this section of your PPSR, I give you 100% off. Okay? But if you submit 50%, then 50%. I just follow as fair as possible. Yes?
What if I give you a limited edition one that no one else has?
What in the world does that mean?
Because yours is the worksheet.
Sorry, when you say limited edition means you have limited number of worksheets inside?
I only have one of them that everyone else also knows. I need 2.1. Yeah, I need 2.1. Get it? Yes. And that instant pass is
Okay, Isaac, are you saying that you have a worksheet that you did not submit and it's with you, therefore you have it?
No, I lost it and I found it again.
Wow. Okay,
Then
well, then I give you 101%.
Whoa!
Okay, then I'll take away a little bit of score from nonsense participation. Yeah? Okay. So I just going to work on the basis of fairness. For your worksheets, how do you get 100%? I mean, for every worksheet that you submit, make sure that it's complete. You see that table I gave you is your own checklist. Complete means you track the questions with corrections. So corrections means when I click through and check, I should see your corrections there also. Yes? Okay. Sorry, say, hold on, yeah? Yeah, what? Yeah, you raise your hand, right? Okay. Questions that worksheets that I confirm go through are your RE, correct? Okay, there are some worksheets that I didn't go through fully. For example, your CA and your E&I. These are activity worksheets to be done in class. Teachers can selectively go through certain activities in class, depending on the class. So these 2 worksheets are not particular about the completion. Okay? But for your REs, completion and correction must be there. Because your REs give you a preview of what kind of questions to come up for your end of the exams. Okay? Your E&I and CA doesn't give you a preview of that. It is class activity. We learn through doing. For example, remember we do all those activities where we put coin in water, all that. That one is not test during your EN exam. But your RE are sample questions. And I noticed over the years that students that have all of their REs tend to do better purely because they learn from their mistakes. Yeah? The teachers are not out to destroy you. We just want to see if you learn from your mistakes. And I promise you that. Okay? And if you learn from your mistakes, you will do better. I noticed for 05 and 06, you all did quite well by first exam standards. And one of the difference is that you all really revise your worksheets and it makes a difference. Okay? So please have all your RE in check, completion, correction. CA and E&I are less particular about your correction and completion, but I still want it present. Okay? Yes? Okay, that one I'm fine. So I said, ask if you are missing an RE, what do I do? You could do it the tedious way. You go and copy out the question, write out your answer, or you can photocopy your friend's worksheet, blanco out the answers, and you go and redo. Okay? Your RE must have all. Okay. How about to be fair to you? I know there's lots and lots of worksheets. I will grade your 100% based on your RE. Okay? Based on your RE. Okay? So if your REs are all in place, corrections, completion, I can give you 100%. Okay? Okay? Your E and I and CA, you're missing here and there, still okay. But I still ask you to file it because then you have your complete set. Yes. Alright. So, sorry, Laura, you have just now my fault. Okay. So, I have listed down every possible worksheet you possibly can have. Okay. Your REs are the ones you die must have. Okay. What else should you die must have? Oh, sorry, I noticed another category of worksheets you should have. Your practical worksheets you should have. Yeah? Your practical worksheets. Okay, let's write this down a bit clearer. Your RE you must have. Your practical worksheets you make sure you have also, because I realize some questions will come out from practical worksheets. Okay, I gave you some revision papers for your previous exam, correct? Yeah? So your revision papers. This one, I didn't list down here. More for yourself. Yes, I asked you any at the back, but I'm not going to grade it as part of your submission score. Okay? Yes? That's okay. Yeah? Okay, I asked you to file these revision papers in from last time round so that when it comes to your revision, you can revise. Okay? But I want to check your RE and your practical worksheets. Okay? These two I really want to check your completion and correction. I want to see whether the correction you write down nonsense. You write down nonsense, I quickly notify you wrote down nonsense. Okay? Your revision papers, this one, if it's not inside, then it's your issue lah. But you file it in so that you have something to revise also. Okay, your practical test paper, as well as your quiz one, the one that you did, your first exam, those two also file in so they don't fly here and there, so that you can revise it. But these two also are not counting as part of submission. Okay, this was, you already got graded for your, you were already given a grade for these two. Okay, not part of submission. So these two are the stars you die must have, by hook or by crook. Okay? Yes. Okay, if I didn't go through in class, then I didn't go through. That one's not your fault. Okay? Yes.
What worksheet do we need to file?
What worksheet do we need to file? Correct. Because some worksheets you haven't even get yet, right? You have gotten up to the sales worksheet so far, correct? Yeah. Can I get, thanks for the question, can I get up to RE 9.1? Okay. By the end of today, you can do RE 9.1 fully already. Okay. That also means I want your RE 9.1 done by Monday. This is a lot. Let me type it out again and then I'll put it in class chat. Then 0506 we standardize. Okay, I'm going to complete the chapter today. This is how far we've come. So far we've learned about animal and plant cells. You've learned it in primary school, but at the JC level you learn a few more parts. What are the extra parts we learned about animal and plant cells? Okay, ribosomes, I didn't go through in depth. So that one don't need to remember in depth. The ones I did go through, for example, mitochondria. Mitochondria can be found in both animal and plant cells. I'd like you to look at this cell here. We've done this before. Can you spot all the mitochondria? Chili looking. Okay, like a chili. Okay, thank you. Can you spot the mitochondria? Can you spot the nucleus? Can you spot the cytoplasm? Okay, everyone. Can you spot the cell membrane? Can I? Again, another sample. This one has been labeled. But broadly speaking, again, the nucleus, mitochondria. But what is the lesson we can take away? We compare the previous image and this image. The nucleus always the biggest. Okay? Nucleus is the biggest organelle you can find, at least in an animal cell. Yes? Yeah, plasma membrane, cell membrane, same. So if I want to sequence it in terms of how large the organelles are, it can provide you a little clue. At the biggest, you should find a nucleus when it comes to animal cells, followed by mitochondria. Again, mitochondria is plural, means many. Mitochondrion, singular. Why am I telling you this? Because if I point to 2, you say mitochondria. But if I point to 1, you say mitochondrion. Okay, this is wrongly labeled. So over here, should be mitochondrion. Okay, so that's the difference for you. Next, we look at plant cells. Sorry, have I taught you how to identify chloroplasts? Okay. So how many chloroplasts do you see in this plant cell? 6. Can you spot the cell wall? Can you? So when you point to the cell wall, if you have a plant cell, you can point to the cell wall as the outer one, or you can point in the middle. Both are fine. Just don't point to the one inside. That will be the cell membrane. Can you spot the nucleus? Okay. Some students think the nucleus is this small one over here. It's not. Nucleus has a membrane. So do you see this membrane here? That is the nucleus. Okay. Can you spot the large vacuole in this plant cell? Yeah. Do all plant cells have a visible vacuole? Not always. The day when you look at the plant cell in a microscope, actually you didn't spot this vacuole all the time. Yeah? Oh yeah, some of you all cannot even see anything inside. Can you spot cytoplasm? Okay, actually this plant cell is mitochondria. Can you see the mitochondria? Okay. So this one over here? This one also possible. This also possible. And therefore, what does this mean? In the hierarchy, chloroplast comes somewhere over here. The nucleus still tends to be bigger or around same size, but chloroplast tends to be a little bit smaller. Mitochondria is way smaller compared to chloroplast. So if I were to shift it, mitochondria is way smaller. In fact, it's so small that if you were to use the microscopes we have in school, you actually cannot see the mitochondria. It's actually too small. But our microscope in school are still powerful enough for you to see chloroplast and nucleus. Okay? Here's another example. How many chloroplasts are there in this cell? There are 4. Can you see 4 of them? I've just labeled 1, but there are 4. You can see the nucleus here. Can you see the vacuole? How do you differentiate between a vacuole and a nucleus? Okay, Carol saying nucleus, you should see things inside. Xavier? Okay, you should see darkish spots inside. Nothing? Okay, is the nucleus smaller than a vacuole? This one is iffy. Different plants, okay, it's iffy because it depends on how much water this plant cell has taken up. Taken up a lot, it's quite big. Okay, Samuel? Oh, that's a very good point. If the vacuole is very big, does that mean this cell has less cytoplasm? Okay, this is a matter of perspective. We are looking at this cell from a 2D perspective. But we don't know, because if a cell is, let's say, for the sake of describing the plant cell, I'm going to draw it a little bit box shape. Okay? It could be that the vacuole you are looking at is somewhere at the bottom. It looks like that. It looks very big. From the top down, it looks very big. But actually, there's still so much space above for the cytoplasm. So every cell has a lot of cytoplasm. Oh, okay. If you're just comparing cytoplasm and vacuole for plant cells, there can be actually a lot of vacuole compared to the cytoplasm. Yes? Yeah, I guess so. I cannot definitely say again, because every animal cell or plant cell is a bit different. Some cells actually have very little cytoplasm. So I cannot say that for sure. The things I can say for sure is that nucleus is really big. Okay? So going back to again, how do you differentiate a nucleus and a vacuole? You will see whether there are things inside. You look at this nucleus, you can see dark spots inside. Very likely those are the chromosomes, the DNA. Go back to this nucleus over here, you can see a lot of dark spots and even one bigger dark spot inside. Okay? Let's go to this particular nucleus cell, this cell before. Well, this nucleus has a lot of dark spots inside. The previous cell, you can also see dark patches inside. Okay, so that's how you identify the nucleus. The vacuole tends to be quite empty looking, like a blank space. With that being said, actually one of your RE questions should be very doable now. One of your RE questions, question 10A, requires you to identify parts of the plant cell. We have some time now, so may I get you to go to question 10A of your RE? You can try that now, then you have less of homework to do. They can be completed very fast. Okay, question 10A of your RE 9.1. Try RE 9.1 now. It should be very doable. RE 9.1. Yes. Yeah. Okay, then we will immediately go through. Yeah, this question. Yeah. I just want you to try, since we just learned it, apply on the spot. Responding to one, when you write mitochondrion. Responding to a few, you write mitochondria. Yes. That's okay. I'm not collecting. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to play. Then, what's part B? This one is it? You should be able to do it. They are asking you to compare a bacteria to a plant cell. So it's a prokaryote to a eukaryote. But not no nut. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Oh yeah, this is our topic today. Today after today they do, but you cannot see it. Okay, I'm going to call on 7 people to give me the answers. Okay, Sarah? Which one? Okay, taking the bottom right. What's the bottom right? Okay, bottom right. Cell membrane. Above, what is this small little sausage is pointing to? Okay, check. This sausage. above. What's this outer one? Cell wall. Garrett, what is this big structure? Nucleus. What is this space outside? I said? Cytoplasm, thank you. What is this large structure here? Ongi? Chloroplast, thank you. What is this large space here? Unrun. Vacuole, okay? So those are the answers. You can quickly give yourself a tick if you got it correct. I suspect some of you wrote vacuole only. Will you write the central vacuole also? Although it's not exactly in the center, we do refer it as a large central vacuole. Cytoplasm is transparent. So you kind of just see through the cytoplasm. It's like if I have a tank of water, I put a marble at the bottom. You look from the top, right? You see the marble, you don't see the water, right? Yes? Do you like copy paste? No, it looks different. Alright, fair enough. Okay? Let's go back. We're going to conclude the lesson for this chapter. We're nearly done. I'm going to show you a few ways you can summarize your notes. I observed a lot of you have very good practices. You have notebooks, science notebooks, some of you digital forms of notes, many ways of making notes, but I want to show you a few formats you can take. So for example, the first format to compare animal and plant cell, you could try Venn diagrams. Venn diagrams are particularly useful if you have similarities and differences you want to compare. Notice I put all the similarities and the overlapping parts of the circle. The differences I place them at their respective sides. You can try Venn diagrams next time when you do your notes. Alternatively, you can use a table. What I discourage you from doing is to copy what you see on your textbook over into your notes. That wastes a lot of your revision time. It is as good as you revise your textbook before your exam. But the most successful students don't revise their textbook before the exam. They revise what they have summarized. There are students that even every chapter, you can just summarize it in one side of an A4 paper. Not even one page, just one side. It is possible. Your seniors have developed a skill where 30 pages of a textbook is summarized in just one side. What other formats you can use other than tables? Okay, here's another Venn diagram. If you want to compare prokaryotes and eukaryotes, another Venn diagram you could draw. We provided all of this now on Google Classroom. So if you want to, you can even have your iPad out. You can go and download the PowerPoint slides. All these formats have been provided to you. Another format you can work with. Many of you do notes in the form of mind maps. So what is a mind map? For example, you could have cell. Usually the most unifying word will be in the middle. You can branch out to various types of cells. For example, you have prokaryotic cell. You have eukaryotic. You can even branch out from there. You have animal cell. You have plant cell. From here, you can even branch out. What are the various organelles you can find? Alternatively, you could use a flow chart. Perhaps you have cell. You have your prokaryotes, your eukaryotes. From eukaryotes, you can flow chart even more. Your animal, your plant. You can even merge a few forms of note making together. Now you can have a table comparing the various parts of animal and plant cell. You can incorporate similarities into the table as well as differences. Do not copy your textbook over. That is an inefficient way of learning. Adopt various different kinds of note making methods. Some of you here like to draw. Then if drawing helps you remember better, draw more. I was that kind of learner. If you were to flick through my notes, all of my notes were drawings, not a lot of words one. and then I label all of my drawings. So for example, if you were to flip to a kind of notes that I made, I would have drawn the entire plant cell and I would label all of the parts, and then I would put all the functions there. For example, my kind of notes are like that. I would draw the plant cell, I would label the part of the plant cell, and then I would describe all the functions. Those are my kind of notes. Joshua? Can you borrow my notes? Can is can, but I don't think it will make sense to you because the only notes I have left now are my university notes. But I can show you my sample of university notes. I can summarize one whole month of learning into just one side of a paper. And that's all I bring before the exam. Yeah?
Bring to the exam.
Oh yeah, why not just bring it to the exam? Samuel, you try that?
It's not much cheat sheet.
Do your cheat sheet. But that's not for your exam, right? Okay. You know what our cheat sheet is? Your periodic table. Yeah? So you do not need to memorize your periodic table, you'll provide to you. Sorry? Sorry, say again. Okay, as I said, I thought you need to memorize the top 20 in the periodic table. If you memorize it, you can do your paper faster because you don't need to flip behind the periodic table. But if you don't memorize, it's also fine.
If you memorize a bit,
Yes. Okay. I don't advise you to tear because you are not supposed to use staplers during the exam either. Okay? So if you tear, how you want to back? Yeah? But right. Yeah, if you look at your cover page of the exam, they always say no use of stapler, correction tape, so on and so forth. Okay? Because I think the point of it is that we don't want you to modify your exam paper. Okay? Yes? Okay, I say again. So some people memorize the first 20 of the periodic table so that they have the information in their heads, they can do it very fast. As you progress through the levels, sometimes you need information from your periodic table. Some people already have it in their head, they don't bother to look at the periodic table anymore. Okay, in the last part of your chapter, I'm going to go through this concept of cells called division of labor. As the concept implies, actually when you look at your body, no one part of your body is trying to accomplish everything that needs you to survive by itself. Let's look first at how life is organized when you look at planet Earth. Life. Okay? At the very top, number one, actually Earth is living. Think of Earth. Earth is living, is teeming with life. That is actually the largest unit of living, or of life. Go a little bit lower, ecosystems. Sorry, you can find all this in your textbook. You flip over your textbook, we provided all these layers of life. Maybe you can open your textbook right now and direct you to the page. I am currently on page 31. Okay, 31 to 32, that's where I'm at. So today I'm going to cover page 31 all the way to 34 and we are done. Next week onwards, we finish off your JH1 life with chemistry. Okay? Chemistry, okay, that part, really need you all to focus in lessons with me because next week onwards, the chemistry I'm going to teach you are the basics. Some JH4 teacher have complained that a lot of students have forgotten the things from JH1. The thing about chemistry is, it's a bit I mean, will you come back later? Why are you coming now? You're getting scolded now. Let's help you now. What's your motion? Okay, just help me out. Look under your table. Do you see any module booklet? Don't have, Don't have, Sorry, don't have. 31 now. If we look at life, Earth is really teeming with life. You go one level lower, you have the ecosystems. That's where you find all your habitats, full of life too. Next level, number 3, we look at communities of life. Lots of organisms live together, like a what do you call it? I suddenly forget. No, what do you call it? I suddenly forgot. You know, if you have animal 1, animal 1 eat animal 2. Food chain, thanks. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, not life chain, food chains, food webs. Those are like your communities of life. Go next level, populations. Human population. Next level, organisms. Now we come to the individuals. That's you. Let's go a little bit more. Let's go to number 6. Organs. If we look inside you, you have organs. Organs are also living. We go a little bit smaller. Tissues. Do you know, for example, when we look at your heart, your heart is made up of actually many different kinds of tissues. Okay, that's not how a heart really looks like. You want me to draw a more realistic heart, right? So I have to draw it for you. Okay? So you want me to draw a more realistic heart? Okay. But when we look at the heart, even though the heart is a single organ, it's actually made out of many different types of cells. For example, you know part of the heart is made up of a kind of cell called muscle cells. That's what allows your heart to pump. They do look like kind of long noodles. Hold on, Xavier. Another part of your heart, if I were to zoom in, you have parts of the heart that are made up of blood vessel cells. These blood vessel cells help to form the wall of your blood vessels. If I look inside the blood vessel, so if I were to cut your blood vessel and then blood starts spewing out, let's zoom into that. It is made up of another kind of cell, red blood cells. Yeah, of course. Okay? Okay, class? So listen up. I think this is where your primary school teachers stop at. I was told that you learn about the digestive system. So you know about your stomach, your intestines, all that. But actually, if you look at each organ is made up of many different types of cells. For example, here I have blood vessel cells. Here I have red blood cells. Here I have muscle cells. Many different types of cells make up organs. I'd like to introduce a new word to you that you've heard before, but you don't use it in biology context. Tissue. Have you heard the word tissue? Okay, so you've heard of tissue paper, but in biology, when I say the word tissue, I'm referring to a collection of cells. So for example, this is a tissue. Tissue consists of the same cell type. So I can say this is muscle tissue because it's made up of muscle cells. This is another kind of tissue. This is the blood vessel wall tissue because it's made up of many blood vessel cells. This is called blood tissue because it's made up of a lot of blood cells. When I use the word tissues in biology, I'm not referring to tissue paper. I'm referring to a collection of the same type of cells. Okay, so please take note of that. And so when we look at life, we can actually zoom in a little bit more. From an individual organism, you actually have many different systems of the body, from a digestive system to your circulatory system. We can also find organs in your systems. If we zoom in a little bit more, we find same tissue types. Zoom in a little bit more this way, we find cells. And that's what we've been learning so far, animal and plant cells. I provided all these slides on Google Classroom, so you can find them there. Yes, Xavier, sorry, I skipped you just now. That's not a mango steam, that is a heart. Okay. But then begs the question, why do we need so many different cells to carry out so many different functions? I'd like all of you to have a quick discussion. Why have so many cells carrying out so many different functions? Why don't we just have one cell type across the entire body that can carry out every function? Okay, so we have a quick discussion. Why I have so many specialized cells? That's because each cell in the body is specialized for different functions. So what you're talking about, those cells lining the stomach ridge can produce mucus that prevent the acid from digesting them. Okay, so why? Why do we have so many different types of cells? They are specialized for different functions. What's the point? Why don't we just have one cell type that can do it all? So you can answer. I was so loud. But I thought Mr. Ahmad was quite loud. Yeah, okay, I have to admit, every time Mr. Ahmad is next door, right, I will shout extra loud. Because sometimes I can hear him. I hear Mr. Ahmad, right? Okay, class! Then after I'll be like, okay! Because I scared my students will not hear me. Then I don't know if Mr. Ahmad is also competing with me, so I will compete. Okay. Okay, maybe I hear from some of you. Sichuan, what do you think? Why have so many different cell types specialized for different functions? Okay, so that perhaps you don't have that one cell type overworking. Ayo, one time I need to help you digest things, another time I need to help you transport oxygen, so on and so forth. Yeah? Okay, and then what if you have a disease that targets a specific cell type? What? If I can target a specific cell type, all will die. You know, for example, coronavirus, it targets specifically cells of your lungs. Can you imagine if all of your body is same cell type? Target all, that will be a problem. Garrett? Okay, could cancer kill you faster? So cancer tends to originate in single cells of single tissue types, and they tend to affect certain tissue. So usually if you find cancers, they affect certain tissue. If all same cell type, then cancer could spread quite fast. Xavier? Oh, this is interesting. Xavier says some of the functions contradict each other. What do you mean by that? Sorry, let's listen to Xavier. Yeah, Xavier? Like the immune system? Okay, could it be that, hey, if I have a cell that wants to digest things, but at the same time, that cell is also carrying out a function of producing food, then it's like it's producing food and then it digests its own food. Right? So it contradicts each other. Zane, you wanted to say something? We are all one cell type. That's true, but I'm saying that the COVID who have infected, imagine we are all one cell type, then it affected, then you can therefore infect every part of the body. But when you look at coronavirus, they target the respiratory system. Okay? So why are so many cell types? Yeah, you know? Okay? Okay, Yao brought another point. Okay, listen. Yao brought another point. She said that every cell has a different function. But if we try to merge all the functions into one super cell that can carry out all the functions, would this cell be rather inefficient if it tries to do all functions at once? I have to agree with a lot of you here. It's a combination of everything together. We kind of divide the various functions so that the cell can function more efficiently. First and foremost, when you look at a single cell, each part of the cell, all the organelles, carry out different functions. Mitochondria produce chemical energy. Chloroplasts produce food. Vacuole stores food, so on and so forth. If you look at the parts of the body, various cells carry out different functions. It's more efficient that way. Can you imagine if you go to school, right? Yeah. Can you imagine I'm your teacher and I teach you English, mother tongue, math, science, everything. Okay? Okay, I tell you the truth, I may be able to teach all the subjects, but I'm not an expert in all of them. What do I mean by that? If you were to ask me, how come this math equation you have to do it this way, but not another way, I cannot tell you that because my math knowledge is only up to you, up to your kind of knowledge also. I only know what to do, but I cannot go beyond that. But for biology, you question me a little bit more, like you ask me about cancer and all that. I can tell you more because I'm an expert in biology. So I specialize. Sorry, I say I'm an expert, make it sound like I'm not an expert, the researchers are the experts. Okay? So it's same for you. Eventually, as you progress through your years, you will start to specialize too. When you look at your body, actually there was a time when, if you go to your bones, inside your bone there's a very special cell called stem cells. Stem cells actually are cells that could become anything eventually. And these stem cells eventually go down the path and specialize in different kinds of cells. So for example, we have some cells that will become brain cells, some cells that become liver cells, some cells that become heart cells. Just like you, eventually you will start to specialize. Now you're doing every subject. When you go to upper JH, you will start to do less subjects. When you go to the JC side, you know you just do 2 sciences, not 3 sciences. 1 humanities, not 2. So you specialize as you go even further. Yeah, you're all very observant, no matter which class I go to. Or you can be do nothing like that. Okay? Okay, that's not correct. You cannot say sweepers do nothing like that. Okay? Every job has a function. I would say this is a problem of Singapore. Singapore, a lot of Singaporeans value or look at certain jobs as lower class. But if you go to other countries, it's not the case. Sorry? Where? I think as you make these statements, I hope you also understand that various people have different life circumstances for different reasons. If you look at people who take drugs, one might assume that they are people who just want to study, just want to work, therefore they're taking drugs. Look at their backstory, it's very different. You go and read up a lot of stories, watch videos online, read newspaper articles, their life story is very different. They are not as privileged as you are. Some come from broken families, some have no parents, some have to work while they are in school, therefore they cannot focus in school, they mingle with the wrong crowd, some get taken advantage of, they end up taking drugs. So when we make these statements, we be a little bit more sensitive, don't be so careless. We are quite privileged, a lot of us here, and not everyone has this privileged position. So someone who is jobless doesn't mean they don't want to work. Sometimes they cannot work. Yeah?
So the moral of the story is don't take the yellow, blue, or purple. Don't take the yellow, grey, or purple stuff.
Moral of the story is all of you have a path to take of your own. Don't let anyone tell you that your path is not special and that your path is meaningless. Yeah? For example, my grandmother used to be a dishwasher. To say that her job was low class and meaningless is to say that she didn't raise a family of children that eventually managed to all go to school, even though she didn't get to go to school, who ended up having grandchildren who could all go to university, even though she never once stepped into school and cannot write or read. Yeah? So is that job meaningless to that extent? Yes? I think you are focusing, reading too much into the lines. There is no coincidence. I literally just plugged and typed into Google different pathways, and this came up. Okay, then you're like, this person took a shortcut, this person decided to change career halfway. Okay, stop. Okay. So to sum up, there are many different types of cells that your stem cells can specialize into. Even plant cell too. Okay? I would like to focus instead on the last part. Do you think the cells of whales are bigger or smaller than humans? How come you all know this? Okay, but actually, even if you look at a whale, their cells are the same size as human cells. Yeah, then why are they bigger? Okay, I know this sounds very stupid, but there are some students that think that whales are bigger because their cells each cell is bigger. But in reality, there's a limit to how big cells can go. And the reason behind it is in this. I'm going to play this last video and I have to stop for today. Okay, hold on, listen.
Some tiny organisms, like bacteria, are made up of a single cell, and all the materials they need must be supplied via their cell membrane. Large organisms, like us humans, are made up of millions of cells. To get the important stuff, like oxygen, to all of the cells that make up our bodies, we have a transport system to take things to where we need them. We rely on the blood to transport what we need to where we need it. But why are larger organisms made of many cells, rather than a single giant cell? And why do we need such advanced transport systems, rather than simply allowing materials like oxygen to diffuse from the air through our skin to all of our body cells? The problem is surface area. Consider two cubes of different sizes. The smallest cube is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and so it has faces each with an area of 1 centimeter squared. And there are 6 faces, so it has a total surface area of 6 centimeters squared. The larger cube is 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters, so each face is 4 centimeters squared. With 6 faces, it has a total surface area of 24 centimeters squared. So, the larger cube has a larger surface area, but the larger cube also has a larger volume. We need to compare the surface area of each cube with its own volume. The small cube has a volume of 1 by 1 by 1, which is 1 centimeter cubed. It has 6 square centimeters of surface area for every 1 cubic centimeter of volume. We can say that it has a surface area to volume ratio of 6 to 1. If we do the same for the larger cube, we can say that it has a volume of 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8 centimeters cubed. This ratio of 24 square centimeters of surface area to every 8 cubic centimeters of volume can be simplified 3 to 1. 6 to 1 is bigger than 3 to 1. It's obvious that a smaller cube has a larger surface area to volume ratio. Let's imagine that these cubes are living cells that need oxygen to survive. For oxygen to spread throughout the cells, it must diffuse through the surface. As the small cell has more surface area relative to its volume, every part of that volume can be supplied with oxygen at a faster rate.
Okay, and I'll pause here. So, the reason why cells have a limit to how big they can go down to their surface area to volume ratio. The bigger the cell, the less surface area to volume ratio you have to absorb things very efficiently. So there's a limit to that. Okay? We have sort of come to the end of this chapter. I'm going to release you now for tea, right? Okay? Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Please make sure you prepare your science form for next Monday. Okay, thank you class.